to invest as a millennial. So let's get started.
If you're in your late teens, 20s, the first thing we always tell, our friends, but also, the younger kind of generations is you always create the trend. 20-year-olds, late teens, they start the trend. The older people with money typically join later. So it's important to kind of realize that even just walking around while you're at school, I know COVID makes that hard right now, but when you're walking around in university, when you're talking to your friends and they're saying, hey, have you heard of this? Hey, have you heard of that? It's important to kind of have a nice mindset and think about, okay, I'm seeing a trend here. What are some other companies in this space? And that's the first way that we're going to kick this off is, if you're younger, you can spot the trend easier than your parents, but easier than anybody technically that would be older than you.
Yeah, always keep your eye out for any trends, but let's just roll it back a bit. Let's just start with how to collect money, how to save, and then where to invest. And that's where we're going to get into after when we spot the trends. But as a younger millennial, as ourselves, when we worked, we always put away a little bit of money from everything, even from chores, from all that. And then just piled up until you had enough to open a trading account. And most trading accounts now are around I think $2,000 to open, but you can also open a Robinhood app and get free stocks now. So it's a lot easier.
Yeah, depending on where you are, obviously there's a lot of free ways to invest now. Whether it's even using bank accounts in Canada, basically all free. TFSA, open early, all those things we recommend for sure. The earlier you can start compounding, the better. And We're not one of these people that are saying, oh, throw $50 in your savings account, and by the time you're 60, you'll have $1 million.
No, we're high risk, high reward kind of guys.
No, we're going to be telling you to buy stocks. Especially now, you got a couple of years of economic growth just based on fiscal stimulus in the U.S. So being leveraged or invested in stocks is a good idea.
Exactly. You kind of want to get above that 8% return each year, which most likely it's way doable. In the past 3 years, we've been looking at the S&P 500, even Dow's been killing it. So you can always see those returns. And then we also like to go for high growth stocks to invest your money in. But let's start with just even opening up a trader account. What would you recommend, Jason?
Well, just on your point, and maybe you edit this in, but even the TSX in Canada, typically speaking, expecting a good gold movement, good mining movement. The TSX has a lot of mining companies, so definitely an okay buy. But yeah, just as easy as opening a trading account. Let's start there before we get into expectations.
Perfect. Let's start with the two versions of it, opening a brokerage account, or you can open a app trading account. So in Canada we have Wealth Simple, and in the States you have a lot of them, Webull, Robinhood. So those are the ones that we tend to kind of avoid, just because a lot of them don't have everything to purchase, and might as well invest into everything that you want and not be restricted. And yeah, opening a brokerage account, which...
Okay, if you're Canadian, it's as easy as calling your bank and telling them that you want and this is even the benefit, you can have both a trading account, just a non-registered trading account, and a TFSA trading account open for you as well. So any gains you make in there are tax-free, which is great.
Which is the best thing in the world.
Yes, we don't like paying taxes.
Yes,
we like keeping as much money in our pockets as possible. The one thing I want to say, and a lot of people always ask, I have a couple $1,000, I want to make life-changing money. I want to make millions of dollars. Look, it's important to realize that there's a reason traders don't make 1,000% a year plus.
Only if you watch our videos.
Yes, on our videos you could. Now, but that being said, you're not going to turn $1,000 into $1 million. It's important to have good kind of expectation handling, and the best investments are something you just buy $1,000 of and forget about for 3 years and then are $1 million. The best investments are things you add $50 to $100 to a week and slowly build up. Colin and myself, that's how we started. We work our boring jobs, whatever it was, and we throw $20, $50 into certain things, and obviously it's done okay.
Yeah, make a budget, put away some money, and always put it into an investment. So make your money work for you, right? Even when you're sleeping, let it work for you, which is the best thing we look at.
I mean, think like I know a ton of friends my side that they have student loans still. They're 25, but they've been working. For some reason, they're sitting there. They've got they're waiting to buy a house. So the biggest thing for millennials, they're waiting to put a down payment on a condo, on an apartment, on a house. You're sitting there with $100K in a checking account,
or even in their shitty savings account, getting 0.5% interest a year.
Yeah, look, and here's something just to mention. If housing prices are going up 5% a year, that means you, in theory, need to increase your down payment 5% a year. You need to be making 5% a year to even crack it, right? So it's important to look at it from that perspective. And this whole stocks are risky. There is risky stocks and not risky stocks that I think is worth talking about. It's important.
Yeah, exactly. Like just having a diverse portfolio, in my opinion, is the best thing you could do. People ask, how many stocks should I buy? Should I just put all my money into one basket? No, I definitely would not agree with just putting all your money into one stock, because just in case the market does change in different sectors, you want to be diverse on all of them, right? In my opinion, like even having it's depending on your trading kind of portfolio, but like between 5 to 10 stocks, having some ETFs, because then you'll have a bunch of them into one, right? So you're de-risking yourself just a little bit, but they're also having those high risk reward stocks in your portfolio will do a long way. And that's what I think Jason was mentioning, just investing in different companies even in the OTC, having a few of those, penny to dollar to NASDAQ stocks on your list is definitely something you should have. And yeah,
we'll get to that in a second. But I want to definitely talk about, sometimes the best investors aren't, the Warren Buffetts. And by that I mean, the best investors are people who really get the industry. And I'm saying this, if you are a new investor, the best thing to invest in is something you're familiar with. People, I get if you're watching this, you're 20, you're like, I don't know anything. Again, like I said, you spot trends, certain clothing people are wearing,
exactly.
Drinks they're buying. This whatever beer is being purchased more than I've ever seen. Looking things that way. White Claw, for example, was a huge push in the market, pushing a lot of kind of the vodka soda, type things.
Even like as you're saying, is buy things that you're interested in that you're already buying. For example, if you're into video games and you spend $70 on this video game, just buy their stock. If you like buying Nike shoes all the time, go to buy some Nike stock. It's not as hard as finding all these crazy companies. You don't have to do all this deep intel and research. Just find something that you enjoy and put a little bit of money into it. And obviously, if you're buying the items, obviously other people are buying the items too. So
look, if you're seeing it grow in your friend group, if you're in your Instagram group chats and you're sending memes to each other and you're starting to see a bunch of memes about one thing, or you're talking about one thing, again, investing can be that easy.
Spotting the trend, exactly as you were mentioning.
Spotting the trend, important to talk about. But yeah, like I said, whether it's type of beer, clothing, right? All of a sudden people are buying Adidas hats. Let's have a look at that. Like whatever it is, important to look at.
Yeah, Kanye West is killing it with his Adidas, selling all these crazy ones with his Adidas deal. Buy some Adidas stock. Yeah, exactly. As easy as that. And yeah. What else do you want to mention?
I wanted to mention something else as well. Being riskier when you're younger, for sure.
Diversify your portfolio. Being also having
OTC. Like if you really want to turn $1,000 to $1 million.
Yeah, no. Maybe another.
Let me hit him as a troll.
Yeah, just fucking go for it.
Look, if you really are trying to turn that $1,000 into $1 million, I don't have a stock for you, but I have at least way and a strategy you can do it.
It's more of a lottery play, but obviously sometimes it's worked. We've seen it work, so continue.
So this is what you need. You need to pick an industry you think is growing. Whether that's electric vehicles, for example, at the beginning, whether that's, maybe it's psychedelics, maybe it's whatever, but maybe even a more, infant stage industry than that. And then you need to find a company actually creating something, building a product, is definitely where you want to look, and something that you could see someone buying a lot of in years to come. And you typically are going to find these companies on either a venture exchange, the CSE, the TSXV, or on the OTC in the US. And you're going to be looking for a company that has potential to go from this small company to the NASDAQ, to the New York Stock Exchange. That's how you turn $1,000 into $1 million. You got to find these guys early. Sometimes looking at small reverse mergers, companies like that definitely have a lot of growth. And usually, tech companies seem to be at least the ones we've seen. Recent tech companies, if you're seeing an app, a small app that has potential, this or that, has potential to grow. That's where you want to look.
Yeah, I was actually a part of two of those type of stories, I guess. Back in 2012, when they was first developing the cannabis back on the OTC, you would see some stocks jump from in 1 or 2 days from 1,000 to 10,000%, which was crazy to me. And this was just the legalization in Denver, which was crazy. So I did see that huge sector happen, and then being a part of that once, I did see it again coming into 2017 when they legalized in Canada, which I also saw stocks go from 10 cents to $70, which honestly, that's $1,000 to $1 million, no problem. And it's crazy to me that it's possible, but I've only seen it twice in my life personally.
Well, we know there's people watching this that, you look back at the chart of Apple and you're like, damn, what if I invested at this point? That's what we're talking about. And the way to find that, you really need to find it in its infancy. Sometimes a company that's struggling but is repivoting could be one as well.
Yeah.
But that's the only way to turn $1,000 to $1 million.
If I was able to spot those trends and be a part of them, don't get me wrong, I did not turn 1,000 to $1 million. But I did get really high % returns on it, and it's happened twice to me in my lifetime, and I'm only 25. So it's definitely possible to do it multiple times in your lifetime, and just got to keep your eye on that for sure, and being diverse in your portfolio.
Now look, thanks for watching. Again, we're here to answer questions. There's a ton of different industries, a ton of stocks we want to talk about. Make sure you subscribe.
And drop hit that thumb button.
and leave comments below. Look, if it's hey Jason, can I get this insight? Hey Colin, can I get this insight? If it's hey, I don't agree with you. Hey, we'd love to see those too.
Yeah, or hey, you suck. We love those comments too, because you know what? Maybe we do, and we gotta get better. But hey, we'll love them.
Any comments better than nothing. Roast us.
Perfect. But don't become a bag holder.
There you go.
Boom.